It was the holiday season.
You're looking forward to when it's over?
Well, it'll be just as bad the day after Christmas.
The stores were filled with shoppers all looking for last-minute bargains, like this Star Trek calendar, Stardate 1978.
Many stores have started their after-Christmas sales already, which means that late shoppers are being encouraged. So it looks as though the rush will build and the crowds will swell right up until the last minute.
Also typical for the season, the Lane County Sheriff's Office and Eugene Police Department were stepping up efforts to combat drunk driving, getting the word out to bar owners to make sure intoxicated customers take a cab ride home.
We are increasing substantially the number of patrol officers that will be out in Eugene. In fact, we're just about doubling the patrol strength.
And after explosions at grain elevators in Texas and Louisiana that killed dozens, KEZI 9 News wondered if the same thing could happen here.
This is the Jefferson Street grain elevator. It's smaller, but built exactly the same as the elevators that exploded in Galveston and in New Orleans.
No worries on Jefferson Street, as it turned out, even though these types of accidents tend to happen more frequently when the weather turns colder. And it was colder, enough for ice to form lacy patterns on leaves and sidewalks. Despite the cold, a few hardy members of the local Audubon Society were out participating in the annual bird count.
What's the neatest thing you ever saw?
Well, I did see a Canada warbler once in Walterville, which is the only state record for that bird.
But that week, there was another pair of wings no one saw. An Aero Commander on a flight from Vancouver, BC to Mexico, carrying students from Simon Fraser University on a holiday break.
And we heard this plane circling our house very, very low. I was quite concerned, being a pilot myself. My first thought was, who's up in that small a plane this time of night in this kind of weather?
Well, the impact appears to be almost straight in.
My wife said, I believe that plane's in trouble. So she went to the north window to look out, and just as she did, she heard the crash, saw the flash, the motor stopped, and we knew the plane was down, and it was about a half-mile beyond her house.
Appears to have been 7 bodies on board.
Investigators from the Lane County Sheriff's Department, the Federal Aviation Administration, and the National Transportation Safety Board are going over the wreckage now, trying to piece together exactly what happened. They say it may be some time before we know exactly why this plane crashed. Ken Strobeck, Eyewitness News, near Cheshire.
That crash in dense woods in December 1977 was long known as the worst aviation disaster in Lane County history. That it happened just a couple of days before Christmas makes it even more tragic, but not more unusual.
It's the day after Christmas and it's a holiday. Things are pretty quiet here in town. There wasn't much traffic on the street. Most people are home recuperating or watching football games.
That's the nature of the news business. Whether in January or July, we are chroniclers of the good and the bad, with stories to tell and deadlines to meet. And in that one week in 1977, birds to keep track of. Ducks on a drive, warblers on the wing, and the wayward ones lost one dark night under a Christmas star.